Hey guys, it is 21 times from PokédexCentral.com. Happy New Year to you. I'm recording since PTCGO went on Fritz and they decided to do some maintenance on it. I'm going to record just a quick tag team preview because I've been looking at some of those cards recently. From what we can see, and it just kind of looks like, to me like there are 9 cards right now that are standing out to me as being really, really meta-changing cards. And only one of them is a tag team Pokemon. So I'm gonna say this right now, and please feel free to disagree with me, downvote me. I really don't care. I don't care if you call me crazy, call me an idiot. I really do believe the game is moving away from 2 and 3 prize Pokemon. Right now, I believe that 2 and 3 prize Pokemon are a huge liability. I believe they are more of a liability than an advantage at this point in the game. And it's not just Shrine. I think there are a lot of really good single prize decks out there that, from everywhere from Lost March to, I like Blissey. I'm the only one, obviously, but from Buzzgarb to Granbull to Sceptile, there are so many good, really good single prize Pokemon out there that it's getting really hard to play. It's getting really hard to play 2 prize Pokemon. And sometimes, I feel like, I get into a battle with another single prize deck, and I feel like it's like whoever takes the first prize wins, because they KO you, you KO them. They KO you, you KO them, and all of a sudden you can't. You gotta hope they whiff. You gotta hope they run out of energy or run out of steam or miss an evolution or something, so they can't attack, and you can just keep going. It's, or like with Blissey, it's 200 HP with the bodybuilding dumbbells. So, it's hard to do 200 to a not GX Pokemon. So, that's just my feeling. Certainly, you can tell me I'm crazy. That you can tell me you think that these tag team Pokemon are going to rule the world and take over the meta, but I just don't see it happening. So, go to the first one here. And I'm not doing these in any particular order. I just did them alphabetically because that's the way my sort came up on my Excel spreadsheet. So the first one is Aerodactyl. Just kind of really speaking to my point. It's colorless, stage 1, 130 HP, lightning weakest. Now it is a fossil. Totally get that. Totally also understand that it's so much easier to get fossils out than it's ever been in the history of the game. So it's not too much of a concern. Completely colorless. It has, a 1 attachment attack that confuses the opponent's Pokemon, but really, Fossil Fang, it's 3 colorless. It's 3 colorless attachment attack. Does 180 damage if you have no EX or GX Pokemon on your bench. Throw a Choice Band on it, it's 210, and even 180 will OHKO just about every single prize Pokemon out there. So, just kind of proves my point that, even going up against the biggest of the tag team Pokemon, there's 2 shots at. So, but I think this could be a really good card. Definitely something I'm looking forward to trying out. Beedrill. Maybe the biggest argument against. So right now, grass. I am seeing so much grass Pokemon, so many grass Pokemon. It's the number 1 most common type I come across by far. Significantly more than any other deck, any other archetype, any other color type is grass. And this Beedrill has an attack that you can use this attack only if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it. So you put a Rainbow Energy on this. Use the damage change item that came out I can't remember. Was it in? I think it was in Shining Legends or something. It came out. Nobody's ever used it, but you could use that. Um, just so many ways that you could put damage, and both active Pokemon are knocked out. I mean, with Meganium decks, this is a no-brainer. I just, again, really, you put tag team Pokemon out in one set, and in the very same set, you put a card out that is so strong of a counter on it. So, but anyways, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's a stage 2. You know, but Doublade. So, Doublade is one, maybe it's gone under the radar. I heard about this a month ago or so, 2 months ago. Stage 1, 90 HP, but that's a little misleading. I would tell you why in a second. But its attack is called Tool Drop, and for a double colorless energy, does 30 damage for each Pokemon Tool card in play. So for every Pokemon Tool card that is attached to a Pokemon in play, it does 30 damage. So if your opponent has 2, and you have Genesect GX out, I mean, you're talking like 6 or 7 or even 8. I don't think you can get more than 8 tools, but you could easily get 5 or 6 on your side of the board. And if your opponent has a couple, now chances are they're not going to play their tools if they see you have Honage. I don't know how it's pronounced. Honage on the bench. They're probably not going to put any tools down, but still. And then Aegislash is essentially a 180 HP Pokemon. It's a 140 HP Pokemon, but its ability reduces attacks by 40 damage. So it becomes at least 180 HP Pokemon. And you can obviously use Memory Energy. I don't know if Memory Energy is much, but definitely Shining Celebi. You can still attack with, still use this Tool Drop attack. So, again, looks like it's going to be this looks like it's really going to be a thing. So, not just a meme. I think this will be, maybe I'm wrong. Best card in the set, Dragonite. So, Lance Prism aside, it is just think about with Meganium, with Alolan Ninetales, Fairy Ninetales, just even think about how easy it is to get out of Vikavolt in a Blue or Ray deck. It's just so easy to get one stage 2 out right now that you'll be able to get this thing out on turn 2 most every time, very consistently. And then it's going to give you a supporter every single turn. It's so powerful an ability. I mean, and it's so powerful an ability that we've got to experiment with it. It demands somebody figuring out how it works, how to get this thing out on turn 2 consistently. Because it's such a powerful ability. If you can do this, you'll never be stuck. You can get your Guzma whenever you want, your Sorola whenever you want. There are a ton of niche supporter cards coming out in this set. So this will definitely help you get some of those if you want to do that. Excuse me. But it's such a tremendous ability that we got to try. So, Erica's Hospitality, I think this is the only supporter card that will see any play. I think it is my feeling that this may become a 4 of. It's not as good as Cynthia. I think it could be better than Lily. It's just gonna, we're gonna have to experiment with it. You can only play it if you have fewer other cards in your hand. So if you have this card and 4 other cards, you can play it. If you have this card and 5 other cards, if you have 6 cards and Erica's in your hand, you can't play this. So you're gonna have some insta-play cards. You're gonna have to have Ultra Balls, Mysterious Treasure, so that you could take advantage of this. But having said that, I've kind of been thinking about it recently, and just kind of looking at my hands, and it just feels to me that most of the time, you're going to have this. The problem is that what if you have it in your hand turn 1 and you're going first? What if you have it at the end of the game and your opponent only has 2 Pokemon, a Pokemon in the active and a Pokemon on the bench? Yeah, so I think it will see some play, but clearly this is the best supporter coming out of this set. There's also one, Bill's something or other, that lets you get 2 trainers in your first 7 cards. But anyway, but this is the best draw supporter in the set. It's not as good as Cynthia. It may not be as good as Lily. I don't know. We'll see. Gengar and Mimikyu. Now, this is the only tag team Pokemon that I really feel is going to be very good, and I think you're basically going to use it for Horror House GX. Horror House GX, you play this, and your opponent cannot play any hands from during their next turn. So obviously this is going to be your starter. You're going to want to start this. You can easily run 4 Shining Mew. You can run 4 Tapu Koko to help ensure that you can get this thing out. 4 Nest Balls, Cynthia. You're going to be able to start this thing. You're going to be able to defer and start this quite a bit. It's going to consistently be possible. Maybe like 80% of the time, 75-80% of the time, you're going to be able to get this into the active on your turn 1 going second. You'll then play Horror House. Excuse me again, I'm sorry, it's like 12:30. You'll then play Horror House. I wouldn't even worry about trying to get an extra psychic energy onto it. There's just not going to be any way to do that early. But then you completely freeze out your opponent. Maybe if they have a little Vulpix and they can beacon, if they have, some kind of ability, Oranguru or something, they could potentially use. Zoroark could use its trade ability, but they can't play anything. They can't play any cards from their hand. They can't evolve anything. They can't attach energy. They can't play a supporter. So, they can attack. They can use any abilities, and that's about it. So it's going to be a great way to start. It's very tanky being 240, meaning that you can go ahead and start. You can have a free turn. And then you can still even develop another turn if you want, and figure out some way to get this out, whether it's Acerola or Super Scoop Up. Its other attack, Poltergeist for 2 psychics, does 50 damage for each trainer card you find in your opponent's hand. I mean, it could be a good second turn, your second turn attack. It could be good, but again, I would want to get this thing off the board. It's 3 prizes, it's half the game. You're going to want to try to hit it. You're going to want to try to hit Horror House, get this thing off the board, and then go about attacking with whatever Malamar or whatever psychic you want to use. So. But just a great way to totally freeze out your opponent early on in the game and put yourself in a position where turn 3 you could have an insurmountable lead. Judge's Whistle, another, man, like Marquis CXB used to say, hand kung fu. Just, just being able to draw a card is great. An item that can let you get a card just off the top of your deck, great. Use it with Mag Cargo, fantastic. And then potentially also the ability to be a VS Seeker and put a Judge card from your discard pile into your hand so you can stream Judges. Really awesome. This is maybe the second best card in the set, behind Dragonite. And if I'm wrong about Dragonite, maybe this is the best card in the set. But this is a really nasty card. It's going to be a 4-up. It's going to be a 4-up, I'm sure. Pokemon Communication. We've had this before. There are a couple different prints of it, a couple different wordings: Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White. They basically do the same thing. And many of you know what this is if you've been playing for a while. You take a Pokemon in your hand, put it on the top of your deck, show your opponent, put it on the top of your deck, search your deck for a Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. It's a little awkward to me. Why did you put it on the top of your deck? I suppose that's to make sure that you didn't just use it as like a thinning card, and that you could put the same Pokemon in, pull the same Pokemon out. Although I don't know that your opponent could necessarily do that. And you could necessarily, if you have 4 Zoroark GXs, you could put one in and pull another Zoroark GX out. I don't know. Just use it as a thinning card. But again, this is going to be great because you don't necessarily have to, if you use your Fairy Ninetales, you don't necessarily have to grab an Ultra Ball and a Rare Candy. Now you can grab Pokemon Communication and a Rare Candy, and you don't have to throw away 2 resources with an Ultra Ball. It's going to be a 4-up, I have no doubt in my mind, in many decks, especially one that's about to come up here in a second. This is going to be very common, and could. Yeah, I don't think it'll replace Ultra Ball, because a lot of times you want to use Ultra Ball to get out some cards out of your hands, maybe early on, cards that you would use to help you get established early on that will help you out later, like Professor Elms, or if you have other basics that you use to help set up. But still, it's going to be a great card. Really glad that it's back. Really glad that it's back in the game. This is similar to Pal Pad, to some other cards that they've brought back. Oldies but goodies. It's good to see them bring good cards back. And like I said, this is the card that you both probably carry for Pokemon Communication. And there are others too. It's the Return of Night March, and it's on a Pokemon with triple-digit HP, which is a little bit scary. So obviously, Dark, 110 HP, Stage 1, Night Punish for 1 Dark and 2 colorless. This attack does 20 damage times the number of Pokemon in your discard pile. You can't use more than 10 Pokemon for this attack. So they did cap it at 200, and they did make it a 2-attachment attack. So it's not quite as good. Not quite as good as the old Night March was, but this is still going to be a thing. There's no doubt in my mind. There are some other cards coming out too that'll help facilitate this. But again, a single prize Pokemon, it's going to hit for 200 plus, 230 with a choice band, and then you throw out your Shrine out there and. What is the Magikarp Wailord? I think is 300 HP. Well, if it's got 3 or 4 turns of Shrine damage on it, it's no longer a 300 HP Pokemon. So, I just this is going to definitely be very good archetype. I'm sure a lot of people will play this. We don't have the Battle Compressor. But still, there are other other things we can use to help get Pokemon in this card. All right, so that that does it for the tag team preview. Just let me know what you think. Let me know where I'm completely wrong. Let me know what cards that you think I missed on this. And I haven't done a super thorough job, but I have looked at every card theoretically that we know of is in the set right now. And these cards just really stick out to me as being the best. And there are some other good ones that potentially might. And there are always cards, like a Shrine of Punishment. I thought that was going to be okay. Did not have any idea that it was going to be as broken as it is, and very much moving the game away from 2 prize Pokemon and 3 prize Pokemon. So, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Bye.